Does it feel like great revenge that everybody was so much hate, and then the movie comes out? It's pretty good. Everybody seems to like it.
You know, I'm not a vengeful guy. I'm just more relieved because look, I just want something to have its day in court. You know, if you see it and you don't like it, that's great. But like, I can't. It's been months and months of people going like, "Your movie sucks." It's like, well, you didn't see it yet.
Right.
You know, and into the trailers or whatever, people have trouble with the trailers. But I don't make movies to make trailers. I make.
Do you ever say when the trailers putting the trailers together, or is that independent?
They pass it by me and they show me stuff, and I can weigh in on it.
Yeah.
But the ultimate decision is not with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Then as things were moving on, I can understand why people were getting upset, and based on what you just said, that you didn't do the movie trailers.
Yeah.
I don't honestly think some of the trailers that came out are promoting your movie the right way, because when we went to go see it, there were some things that were a bit of a pleasant surprise. Like, I don't think Leslie Jones is portrayed the best in the trailer as she comes out in the movie.
Yeah.
And I understand why people are like, oh, she's just being a stereotypical, obnoxious black woman in the trailer. But when you see the context and how it's being used in the movie, you're like, okay, she's not really doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, my movies, I always have a hard time trailering because now that you've seen what I do, it's all about context. And I don't do kind of like snappy jokes and all that. But what happens when they put a trailer together, we do these test screenings the whole time we're putting a movie together to see how the movie's working, and we're swapping out jokes, and we work it kind of like as you're working a stand-up routine for over the course of months and months.
That's not the way I do. I just do it once and it's organic.
I know. I mean, exception to the rule. But so what they do is, there's things that just destroy in a test screening,
right?
And so they go, oh, let's grab all those things and put it in, but they're out of context, and so like her when she hits the ground, like I don't know if it's a race thing or a lady thing, that destroys in a theater, but in a trailer, it's just
because you see what builds up to it and how she acts after it, but when you just kind of cherry pick that line, it gives you the wrong impression of what her character really is in the movie.
But that's why it's so hard it's honestly so hard to trailer any comedy unless it's just like a snappy. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. It's comedy's all about content.
I'm sorry, and also with the trailer, the first trailer that came out said 30 years ago these guys did it, and now this was everybody's first look, and you're seeing everything, and people found out, well, it has nothing to do with the original series. You're saying that happened, but this didn't really happen where we're doing. So I think that's another point where a lot of people got mad, saying, well, you're referencing the original series, but you're saying now in the story it didn't exist.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you on that. There was research that showed people needed to know what we were trying to do. Is it a sequel? Is it not a sequel? And that was the wording that was come up with in a way. From the studio's point of view, I know it was more to say, like, look, we're not pretending that the other movie didn't exist at all ever, but it's that hard balance. You go like, but we're not saying that this is part of it. So it was confusing.
For people's first look, I think that's offset a lot of people because it would look like you're saying, yeah, but we don't care about the original.
Yeah.
And that's, again, it gave the wrong impression for what your movie actually is doing.
100% agree with that. Here's the crazy thing about showbiz and how we do these things is they test all those trailers. They do actual testing with them, and that tested really high. So every time, even I was kind of like, I don't know, it seems confusing. It's like, look at these numbers, people love it. So then you're like, well, okay, and it's just hard to say really, because even I would see that play in theaters and it would work really well. So there's just no way to know. I honestly hate the marketing it makes my stomach go into a knot because I also don't want to give anything away. In the trailers, you have to give stuff away.
Why do you though?
Because they just have to show something.
Well, what about when you're sitting there and they give the entire movie away?
Well, that's the worst. Yeah. Those are the worst.
And it's way more important than a comedy.
Yeah.
And there's an extreme plot twist, and they're giving it away in the trailer. And then you're like, oh, now I know this character obviously survives pretty much to the end of the movie.
Some trailers have the endings that you don't even realize.
It's ridiculous.
Well, because I've had heated discussions with people in the industry about this. There are kind of two schools of thought on trailers, and there's one school of thought is which you just show a mini version of the movie to the audience, and the other is just find something to entice them in. Yeah. I personally hate the thing where you go like, oh, I just saw the whole movie. Why do I need to go now?
Drives me nuts.